they're getting on that dish right there, and that's our main dish coming into the county, and they're fighting. And my radio will hit out of range, and I'm like, seriously. So you go out there and look, and you see like 3 or 4 of them out there on that one dish.
So we're gonna get advice from the city and the cinema.
No, it's a federal permit that they have, so yes. It's not us. Oh, yeah. Silence. Don't want to listen to those people. Yeah, it was like nonstop. Answered at one time, I said, Chris is answering.
Yesterday, I was as usual, I was in all that. Yeah.
You hear about that motorcycle ride on Saturday? Broke both legs up there in Corky Cops. Yeah, so we went to that side. I seen it. So asking one of the responses, was it the guy with the yellow? I don't know, it's just fishable until the. Yeah, motorcycle was black for the yellow, so he said, I don't know, it was all destroyed, you really couldn't tell what color it was. I was thinking it was him, that we seen right there before we went for the deal, so I was like, but yeah, I don't know if it was his legs. Well, he was at the red eye. He was at the red eye before. Yeah.
We're ready. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Let's call the Blanco County Commissioners Court to order this Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, and ask Ms. Wall to call the roll. Here.
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 Please join us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Gracious God, as we face important decisions in this meeting, we seek your divine guidance. Grant us discernment and wisdom to make these choices that align with your will. Help us to consider the needs and perspectives of all involved and lead us towards decisions that bring about positive outcomes. In James, 1st chapter, 5th verse, if any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Lord, we ask for your wisdom in our decisions. Give us the clarity and insight that we may choose wisely. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Public comments this morning, April Sansom.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is April Sansom, and I am the president of Blanco County Conservation Initiative. And I'm also the executive director of Bamberger Ranch Preserve. And I am here today to fully express my support for item agenda number 8, which is the declaration of Night Sky Month for the month of October. And I think it's a really great idea, and I would commend you guys for having that as part of your agenda. I think night skies are one of the things that we love most about Blanco County. We are at Blanco County Conservation Initiative. We're an educational organization that really tries to help people think about what they can do to protect what they love about Blanco County so much. And as such, we have developed a series of voluntary best practices that my colleague Bill Sisak, who's behind me, has really championed. And he's done that working with local developers and real estate agents and really bringing the community together to talk about how to protect the things we love so much about Blanco County and the reason why people come here and want to move here in the first place anyway. And so, like I said, Night Skies are part of that. That's something that everybody loves about Blanco County and that we think is one of the values of living here and being here. So I want to make sure that that I really just supported that agenda item to declare October Night Sky Month, and make sure that everybody knows that Blanco County Conservation Initiative is here as a resource. We offer quarterly community gatherings where we talk about issues and ideas that county residents are interested in and that can help them think about managing their properties in a way that is conducive to, again, protecting what we love about Blanco County in terms of our natural resources. We also we're actually sponsoring a countywide art contest that celebrates our land and wildlife here in Blanco County. So we're around and we're a resource, and we hope to continue collaborating with county members and with you, the commissioners, on protecting those natural resources that are so important to all of us here in Blanco County. So thank you all for what you do, and thank you for considering declaring October Night Sky Month here in Blanco County, because we think it's a great idea and we think it really fits with the kind of vision that our best practices that Bill is really championing, our vision for Blanco County that encompasses the night sky as well. So thank you all for what you do.
Couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
You're aware that counties like Blanco don't have legislative authority. You can't make a rule or order
Yes, sir.
to require night sky lighting, right?
Yes, sir.
But what the courts, and there are some counties that do have that authority, and we looked into it, and there's the one out there with the telescope in West Texas and others.
Yes, sir.
We don't have that authority yet, but we do. You are probably aware that we do everything we can, like within the subdivision regulations, to encourage night sky.
Absolutely. And for that, I commend you. That's wonderful. And yes, sir, we are aware of that. And that fits right along with the idea that the best practices that we are we are developing and are continuing to develop are totally voluntary. And yes, sir.
I'm sorry. And Mr. Sisak, doesn't he put out some kind of a I don't know, newsletter or some sort of an email blast
Yes, sir.
on night skies? Because I
Yes,
think I've seen his name.
Yes, sir. We work in collaboration with Blanco County Friends of the Night Sky, who also have their own email list. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then as Blanco County Conservation Initiative, we also have an email blast as well.
Last question,
Yes, sir.
off the wall. When you hold events like you do sometimes you do youth camps and you do all kinds of things out there at Bamberger,
Yes, sir. At Bamberger Ranch, we do. Yes, sir.
and you have all kinds of cabins.
Not really all kinds. You should come see us.
I have, but where I'm going is, I'm just trying to figure out what is your, if you have an event and you're at full capacity, you fill every bed, how many people can you
Yes, sir. That's a great question.
handle?
If we had an event at full capacity and we filled every bed, that would be 42 beds.
Okay. All right.
All right. How long has it been since you've been out to Bamberger?
A ranch manager ago.
Okay, well, that's been a while. So maybe we could have a county excursion.
Yeah, his son was in my daughter's class.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, that's been a while, so I would welcome you to come back out for another visit and see what we're doing.
And his son's class.
Wonderful. That's great.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you, sir, and thank you all for what you do.
Bill Sisak.
Hello, yeah, so I'm with Blanco County Conservation Initiative. I also live in the Perniles Hills Ranch subdivision just down in Robinson Road. And very supportive of this proclamation for dark skies. In fact, this weekend, my wife had some of her friends up to our property and they were taking pictures of the Milky Way. Not quite as easy to see as it was a few years ago, but we still got some good pictures. So I mean, it's something like April said, it's something that really makes Blanco County special. So I'm very supportive of that. And Judge Bray, you mentioned no, there's no legal way to require people to have dark sky lighting, but I think by having this month, it'll give businesses and community leaders
They bend, you can bend.
a chance, yeah, I'm not good at this, a chance to reflect on ways maybe we could incentivize, sort of carrot approaches to incentivize adoption of dark sky lighting. In fact, sometimes it's as simple as a nice newspaper article that shows that some business made a switch to lighting that's more directly focused than broad. And they get a nice little advertisement as a newspaper article. So I think there's things we can do to incentivize. With that in mind, one of the biggest, I'll say polluters, it's not the right word, but are some of our, it can be like aggregate mining operations, quarries, or businesses that try to illuminate large areas. And this month, or in October, and if you do the proclamation, it'll be really super. We have our next meeting at Gem of the Hills is talking about APO best practices. So some examples of, and they include dark sky lighting. So some examples of how quarries in the hill country have worked with local governments and communities to adopt voluntary practices that make them better neighbors. So anyway, we'll be talking about that. It would be great to get a commissioner or two to come. And I don't know if it's appropriate, but I brought a couple of little advertising flyers that I can leave here on. So anyway, very, very supportive of the proclamation.
Sir, I have one question, and this is an off-the-wall question. I'm gonna follow the judge's lead. So as of Friday morning, I was taking pictures of a tower site and look right here, the moon, and then that. What is that? What was that? Star though.
Well, now you're expecting me that I'm an expert on dark skies. We'd say that's a planet of some
That's
sort.
what I thought, but I didn't know if you might know. I mean,
It's a planet.
okay, I was just curious. I questioned it, but
I can speak with authority, but it's,
Well,
may not be correct.
well, unfortunately, he opened the door. You mentioned the Milky Way.
Yes,
Is the North Star the bottom of the handle of the Milky Way spatula or whatever that is?
so now, I am a retired former engineer. I know nothing about, all I know is when I look up in the sky, I see stars. The North Star, if you do the Big Dipper and you do the end of the Dipper.
I'm sorry, I was confusing Big Dipper
Yeah.
with Milky Way.
The Milky Way was, it was going like south.
Yeah.
South to north,
I was totally
in the sky this weekend.
confused. My
But you
apologies.
don't see it as well as, maybe like 5 years ago, you could really see it. So, yeah, if we encourage people to start thinking about ways voluntarily to do more direct lighting, I think it would really be a great opportunity. And quarries can be big polluters on that, but there's ways that they can get the light they need, trucking companies do, the light they need without disturbing the night sky.
Before moving to item 1, commissioners, I wanted to mention something that will be on a subsequent agenda. The county attorney's office has recommended reducing the number of microphones and just having the one recording that it'll still be an accurate recording. It's the one that gets videoed onto YouTube. Ms. Walla would still produce minutes like you're about to consider, but she wouldn't have to have a separate recording going on. And I think that will be teed up for you all to decide if that's what you want to do or not next time. With that said, moving to item 1 and the minutes up for your approval. I'm seeing the 23rd, 26th of August as well as the 9th of September.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
I move to approve the minutes as for August the 26th and September the 9th as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, line item transfers, of which there are several for your ratification and one for your possible approval.
Totally ratify the line item transfers as presented.
Does that include the one needing approval?
Excuse me?
There's one that needs actual approval, but do you mean that one as well?
Yes, absolutely, yes, that includes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Weir, discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Next item, bills.
I'll make a motion to ratify the bills in the amount of $10,581.76 and approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $895,801.20.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Eager, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is going to involve an executive session. Unlike last time or the last couple of times where we've asked you all to leave, we're going to leave because we have so much agenda to get through afterwards, and because I don't anticipate the executive session taking all of that long to do. So we'll be departing and then returning as soon as possible, and you all are welcome to stay and go as you please. So with that said, I'm going to call for executive session. I have 9:16 a.m. Commissioners Court will recess into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551071 and 551074 to consult with our county attorney and to discuss personnel matters. No action will be taken in executive session, and any action resulting from the discussions will take place after we reconvene in open session. One of the reasons we're doing this at the beginning instead of at the end of the meetings, because it's more convenient, I think, for people to do it afterwards, is because we have some hearing conflicts that cannot be otherwise handled. So with that said, we are recessed. If I said adjourn, that was my mistake. Occasionally I make a mistake. Made Judge Riley a judge last time. So we are in recess. We are not adjourned, and we will return as soon as possible. Thank you.
Well, that's my, Yes. The plan is, like,
Did you say something? Oh, I'm just. How much Yeah. I hate when he's.
It's supposed to be clean.
I saw my dog was very shit. Because I think I should have very.
She got me used to this.
That's the top, he's saying. You guys, you can tell us later.
And you can just see it.
Just happened. I don't know. Oh, that's. Okay, because I can turn it around. I thought that was just right. I'll be anxious to see how it goes.
Just get out of the session. Yeah, I removed it. So it doesn't stay on.
Yeah.
So it's a question issue. Exactly. Thank you. I'll show you this. So you can see. It's a subdivision, but it's all, it's a very, it's 5 acres. It's not like too much. Yeah, it's probably. That's what I said, slow. So what they ever. In Berlin, and it's mostly flat. You are, you know, that recently about that, and she 200 feet and structure, she said, she was very, left wing, was this her. Sorry, I'll get it. I got it. Possibly. So that's. So I'm asking. We can all. Yeah. Still be. That was some fall down. So, if he's one of those all.
Anything that helps.
I don't get this.
And you can really see this.
Well, in fact.
It's a brewery on the building of hotel.
It's not in the yard. It's our.
This is the same guy, so. Prospective customer. Landscape, so. So that. Quickly. You don't have to be all yes. Yeah. That's what that if you already have. Then it's different. The motions are developed. So if you do, you can keep us there on this. Walking it up. So the different people are and some of the things are not related to them because of completely biases. So they're. I had a big brother. They're like, they're. Yeah. I'm specialized in cruise and stuff. Yeah. It's amazing. Yes.
The only other person that And that's when I knew, like, when I started doing this, because I realized that.
It is 9:53 a.m. And the Commissioners Court is now reconvened into open session. During the executive session, court discussed matters and posted, that were posted on the agenda as 551-071 and 551-074 of the government code. No action was taken in executive session. At this time, the court will consider whether any action will be taken on, other items in executive session. So as we have under item 6 returned, we will now move to item 7.
I'd like to make a motion that approves the overtime for approves that overtime or additional straight time be paid out of the overtime line item.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Riley, in discussion.
Is a specific department?
Specific department?
Yes,
Which department?
on this one here,
Yes, sir.
which is your department?
Well, I won't put words in your mouth. I believe it would be the county judge
Yeah, the
department,
county
but
judge, I'm sorry.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Or excluding the sheriff's office is where I was really going with this.
Yes,
Yeah,
excluding the sheriff.
excluding the sheriff's office.
Correct.
Including the sheriff?
Excluding.
Excluding.
Sheriff's office.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 8, proclamation, popular proclamation today.
I'll make a motion to declare October 2025 as Hill Country Night Sky in Blanco County.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 9, another proclamation, and this one involves something kind of near and dear to me. So my wife's family was one of the founding members of the Walnut Creek Methodist Church. There's a word missing. It says Walnut, but it's Walnut Creek.
I make a motion to approve the proclamation regarding the Walnut Creek Methodist Church 170th anniversary.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Eager, and discussion. Yes.
We go by Walnut Methodist, we have dropped the creek.
Why?
It's dry. It's not dry.
See, sir, I'm only a beaver. It is Walnut Methodist Church.
Since you're standing and you're here, would you like to say anything about the anniversary?
Just excited, we have a big planned, tomorrow will be lunch, and everybody's gonna go and you can find us with me shortly. We have 3 waysides that will be put out and dedicated that day, and those waysides tell the story from the time that Francis Smith and Nancy Slaughter gathered on their porch and had concerns about their neighbors and having fellowship and joining together spiritually in Christ. And then it was talk about that, and we talk about the water tank that we have installed for the fire department. It will also talk about through the years that this is our 3rd building. One was destroyed by fire, one by tornado, and how we progressed. We still meet 1st, 3rd, and 5th, 9 o'clock. And immediately following, we have a brunch, so in our pavilion. But our little building has been there since the twenties, the one that we need in now.
Are you, are you on the oversight group of the church?
The what? I'm not a trustee, no, sir.
Okay,
I do have an input because the Harrington and the Smiths are my family that started it.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Little bit odd question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. That particular area of the county is probably as rural as any. And probably as remote as any in some aspects. And while they have that water tank up there for firefighting, for refilling. Um. I'm wondering if maybe the county in some future point ought to look at supplementing that water tank.
As far as how,
I don't know, another one. Cause they don't have,
25,000 gallons right now,
I
right?
think so.
That's as far as it
it's
was been.
25,000?
Yes, sir.
I thought it was small.
No,
No,
it's
it's
25,000.
Never mind. I didn't.
We haven't run out yet.
Yeah, never mind. It's not a great well, as I remember though, and so
No, but it's substantial enough to accumulate the water.
okay. I didn't realize it was that large. Didn't look that large. Okay. Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you, Judge.
Yes.
And thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, item 10. Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't actually made the proclamation. We have Commissioner Leisman having moved and Commissioner Eaker having seconded. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed, motion carries. And now we move to item 10, purchasing policy. And Ms. Early's gone, Ms. Ashby's gone. They've looked at it. That's too bad because I had a question or two about it.
Is the county auditor approve this? I make a motion to approve the revised county purchasing policy.
Is Commissioner Riley seconds, discussion. I have a couple of questions. On the first page, it says, when a department needs to purchase supplies or services, she will do so. You know, usually, it's just this is grammatical, but usually a department is non-gender-ish. What I think it means is when a department head when a department head needs to purchase supplies, because I think later in the policy, we make the point that it's the department head that decides about purchasing supplies, not just anybody within the department. So would you be willing to accept a friendly amendment to your motion to add the word head, department head?
So
Or either that or do something with the he and she.
in the first paragraph, it talks about the elected official department head designated or designee of his or her own department. So it could be not necessarily the department head, right?
But even if it's the designee, it's a he or a she. But a department is not a he or a she. So I get your point. You don't want to use the word department head. If you're going to say department needs to purchase supplies or services, then I would just use the word it instead of he or she.
I will amend my motion to remove the he, she out of the second sentence on the second paragraph and put it in this place.
And then at the bottom, that part about any purchase made without a purchase order being issued prior to the purchase will not be honored for payment by the county. If a purchase is made without following proper procedures, whomever initiated the purchase will be responsible for the payment. And that's in like extra large letters. I know that, I think that is our policy, and I know it's a policy, it seems to me a little strict that we just, as you know, we've been discussing emergency situations this morning, and it seems to me to be just a little bit inflexible.
There's a additional line item on number 3 that has a couple of reference to emergency purchase orders.
And it does, and I saw that, and okay, if you're satisfied that that's the only flexibility that you need is for disasters, then I won't ask you to change your motion. But what about on the next page, on page 2? Sorry, I guess it technically is 3, but yeah, that page. There's 1, 2, 3 on the 4th paragraph that starts with upon receipt. You with me? There's a line that says, if there are not enough funds in the department line item, the request will be denied and returned to the department's elected official department head, who shall then submit a line item transfer request to the auditor's office for review. The auditor's office will review the line item request to confirm that the funds are transferred. And in the past, historically, while this is sort of I think this is not completely new, this is normal, but in the past, historically, there have been times when the auditor authorized running over, and it, in my opinion, the concept was and is that sometimes in order to think about budgeting for the following year, it's kind of good to see how much a line item really needed to have in it the previous year. And so if you're running over, that's a way of telling the court that enough wasn't budgeted last time, or that line items are becoming more and more necessary. So that language absolutely requires a delay and going back 2 steps to do the line item transfer. And I wonder if we want to completely remove even the auditor's ability to run in red on some line at some time.
So I've been the recipient of a denial letter. So, and I haven't really had major issues with it. In our budget analysis, the council shows, I think that the columns are right. It has a original budget amount. And then you should be able to see how much you actually spent at the end of the year, right?
For the most part, but when you do a line item transfer, it does excuse the budget, but the original amount will be there.
Yeah, because on the far left, there's the original amount.
What this language could mean is if an air conditioner, if the law enforcement center has run out of maintenance money and the air conditioner for the kitchen goes out at the most wrong time, it could take a couple of weeks. Now,
That's an emergency. That's all that it was.
you call that an emergency.
Absolutely, yeah, you don't have an air conditioner.
Okay, so it sounds like, based on that answer and your response, it sounds like you're fine with this language, just the way it is.
Yes.
What about the part on the next page about pre-written quotes? That's been the standard here and everywhere I've worked for a long time. That when we don't have to go out for bids, that a best practice is to try to get pre-written quotes. But have not all of you had experiences where you had problems getting pre-quotes?
Yes.
But if the attempts have been made, then you can show your attempts in trying to get the three.
It says a minimum containing at least 3 quotes. It doesn't say attempts. And don't misunderstand. I'm the first to say, we want competition. I'm the first to say, get as many quotes as you can. I'm on board with, I don't have that experience, but I know others at this table have had the experience where it's not always feasible to find 3 quotes.
But if let's say that, for instance, we go out to bid for low water crossings. And we run an ad in the newspaper. And one, comes back, people not submit.
That is not this paragraph. This paragraph is talking about bids under $99,999 where you do not have to go out for bids. If you went out for bids and you got one bid, even if it was under 99, I absolutely agree with you. But if you have not gone out for bids and you are taking advantage of the state legislative ability to not have to go out for bids when it's under a certain level, we are saying we must have three quotes and I'm just asking because I know that's been a problem for people.
We've had times where, precinct went out and they got a contractor. They're working on a job that's close to one of the other precincts that has a small job that's under the $100,000. And because of the proximity, and they already have their equipment out here. You can get them to do that job. I think we should be allowed to do that. And, get them to do that job while they're in that area. If it's under that 100,000, it's over, then I understand what it's gonna do. If that's not the case, and that's the case more than once or twice around here. That you got people working in the same vicinity, same area. And, why not do it? I think it's just good business to do it. And sometimes I imagine that because they're already there, the vehicle models would be cheaper.
Well, I guess I've brought up a question, you can do or not do what you want with that language. I do have one more area that I too want to do. On the purchasing procedure for the sheriff's office, it talks about exception for emergency medical attention. But then at the end, it was 2 exceptions. One's about vehicles and the other one is about emergency travel to transport prisoners. And my question is there a difference or can there be a difference in your experience? Has there been a difference between emergency medical attention and emergency travel to transport prisoners? Is there ever any emergency to transport a prisoner that doesn't involve medical?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay, so a situation a few years ago where you had a violent felon, so much so that you wanted him out of your jail and in a different jail, and you avail yourself of the interlocal with Garnet County, and I think you personally transported him.
Yes.
That's not an emergency, you're not worried about that, that's not an emergency.
Well, it wasn't. It could have been, it could have led to an emergency, in my opinion. I was just doing what I thought needed to be done right then. Was it a medical emergency at that time? No, but I think it could have led.
All right.
Was there a purchase requested?
Well. It was, when we were taking them there, we were having to pay Burning County. We were paying overtime. Everything else, but then,
But you didn't specifically request a PO,
I don't believe it did. But I. Not personally requested a PO before.
yeah, for that can.
Well, again, I think it could be a very good month, but moving on to item two about vehicle breakdowns. You list some examples, water pump, alternator. Flat tires, et cetera, as basically. Obviously, exceptions because of the breakdown. But then you go on to say unallowable exceptions are, are for routine maintenance such as oil change and tune-ups. Why would we even have to listen to that? It's not, are your all vehicles breaking down because the oil changes overdue?
I think what we're saying is oil changes and tune-ups require,
I wish we'd have just said that.
Well, I mean, it's, obviously,
not an exception to a vehicle.
I wish we'd have said that and left it completely out of emergencies, because it seems, I think it complicates it. I realize it says unallowable exception, but I don't even know what to say, because common sense says a tune-up or an oil change is not an emergency.
the reason people put rules in because somebody abused it. Somebody tried to abuse, it. That's why people make rules.
I just disagree with that concept, because you can rule people right into ability. That way. My last one is on the next page, is line check. What's a line check? I might have been two softballs.
Shall we? What do you?
know where you are, I'm sorry.
It's right, approval of claims is at the top of the page. Page 6 or 7. Halfway, middle of the page.
The big title says live checks.
We won't issue checks until we won't. Unless an emergency.
I'm sorry, could
There
you?
will be some. And feel approved by the.
If you can hear, can you repeat it?
So they won't issue checks unless, there's a purchase order, basically, what she's saying.
I'm still just asking, I just don't know what the term means. What does live check mean?
Means sign.
So,
Means sign.
Sign.
sign, okay. Well, in that case, if it means sign, then I really don't understand, because
Our normal practice is not to sign checks until after they have been approved in this quarter. So what we're saying is. Signed checks will only be issued in case of emergency. So if you want me to change this to sign, we're happy.
I'm just saying that sign checks are issued for everything we pay, it's just when in the process. And that isn't clear. Okay,
Motion's made and seconded.
Hey, Gordon.
Yes, sir.
Can I need to go back to, where it's saying that anything more than $4,999, but less than $99,000, absolutely didn't Senate just, didn't the Texas House just approve that anything under $100,000 that you can hire a contractor without going into
They did effective September 1, and I'm assuming that's why it reads 99,999. That's pretty close, number one, and number two, just so we all stay on the same page. It is not 3 bids, it's 3 quotes. Might be 6 of one and half dozen the other, but that language in here says quotes.
Yes. But if I can't get 3 bids on a particular project, I say I get 2. And I do
Quotes.
quotes, excuse me, bids quotes.
If you can't get 3, what?
If I can't get 3 quotes. And I can only get 2 or get 1, can I proceed with that? I mean, the state says I can. So I'm wondering why we're saying, okay,
Because they're making your own, because you all are making rules for you all to purchase things. That's the why. I mean, the state doesn't require it, but you're proposing it.
we're proposing.
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah. That's the only answer I got.
Yeah, I understand.
We change that word shall, should.
If you change that word from shall to where you go, yeah, change it from shall to should, you clearly watered it down. It's been done before. Somebody shall, because they want the clarity. I want the flexibility for commissioners. I don't buy, this doesn't affect me.
Right, but I mean, just going to the helipad, we weren't able to get 3 quotes on the concrete work.
No, we won't.
Are you moving for amendment or are you asking for a friendly amendment or are you just talking?
Maybe longer than that.
Put May on there.
I think May is even less, even I don't like May,
Okay.
that's just
Well, somewhere in
what you want. Should is at least aspirational.
I'll make an amendment to my motion to change the word shall to should.
Commissioner Riley, and second, 2 seconds, stand on
But keep in mind, that this is for transparency, trying to be conservative and show people that we're actually looking out for the county's money.
I agree.
Yes, I don't disagree with that, Chris, one bit, but. I'll try to go out there and get a bid and, and call. Or try to get hold of 6 different people and only 2 show up and look at the job, and that's what I got.
But however, my intentions there.
Oh, and if you can do it, not to you be there, but that doesn't mean you don't really get those whole 3 quotes attached to it.
But my
I will try. And I have tried.
Anyone else? What? When I meant anyone else, I really meant the commissioners, but go ahead.
Well, because I think, okay, so example, for quotes, we buy Motorola only radios. We have 1 vendor assigned to Blanco County for the region, so we wouldn't be able to get 3 quotes on a very expensive purchase for radios, so that's why.
That's called sole source, and it's not in here, but it's generally talked about in the law, so we got that.
Okay.
Why?
In my experience in seeking quotes or bids, there are times when it's hard to get bids, but oftentimes you'll talk to the contractors and you'll say, I can't bid on that. That's too far away. And make it formal or informal, whatever you want to call it, but oftentimes they'd say, I'll give you a quote, but you're not gonna like it. It may be $300,000 instead of 50,000. Fine, I'd appreciate it. I don't know why you don't leave it at shall and talk to them, say, look, we need bids. We would like to do business with you. Give us a chance. Maybe we're willing to pay 300,000. I don't know, but to just say, oh, don't worry about it, or we might get them. I think you should stay firm.
Well, to answer you on that, I do. We do call people, and they'll tell us just that. And look, we're too busy, we're not in the area, and so we don't want to do it. Can I count that? Should I count that as a bid or a non-bid, as one of my?
I think you could if he gives you a note, says it's $300,000. If you like, you come for 300,000 if it's a $50,000 job.
Yeah, if you do that, I mean, a lot of our, we're turned down, we call 3 or 4 people sometimes to see. And 2 out of the 3 will turn it in, but to be real honest about it, say that we've also had other people say, hey, y'all, I heard you're gonna do a job over here, my equipment is sitting over here right now. I can do that job.
No, I understand what you're saying, and you're right, that guy might be cheaper. But the guy that you call that says, I'm too far away, or I got too much going on, I can't bid on it right now, you need to say, well, I would like to keep you on my list. I need quotes from you when I ask for one, and if it's gonna cost you 10 times as much, give me that, please. But if you continue to turn me down, I'll quit asking you. So I think you should leave it. Well, no, I think he should tell you, my availability is difficult, therefore my bid is 300,000.
Thank you. All right, so, the motion currently on the table made by Commissioner Eastman, seconded by Commissioner Riley, and with 2 sort of friendly amendments, one being changing the he, she, gender to a it, and the shall to a should for aspirational purposes. I think those are the only two changes. Already. Any other discussion from the court? Withdrawals or changes or anything else? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11. The announcement by the auditor's office and treasurer's office about bills that everything needs to be in no later than October the 8th in the business, I believe. Noon, excuse me, thank you. And anything that's not in by then on October the 8th will have to come out of the next year's budget.
So I make a motion to make the corrective to all elected officials and department heads to have bills to be paid for the FY 24-25 budget submitted to the treasurer's office no later than noon on October 8th, 2025, and acknowledge that any bill received after that date in time will be paid from the FY 25-26 budget.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 12. Compensation, renewal questionnaire for tax.
Move to authorize the county judge to sign the worker compensation renewal questionnaire with Texas Social Intelligence.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Leesman was second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 13, Kuzula Special Funds. This is, my suggestion, take whatever's left over. I guess I would say afternoon on November the 8th. And what the auditor and or treasurer determined to be available for that it be, labeled as as dedicated to the, Kuzula project, and you have a county system of public.
Yes.
That they're copy of. There's one more item left. Well, actually, there's another one, and, I guess I'd ask you on the fly to consider adding account number 10-300-258, which is the proceeds from the hail insurance, hail damage insurance minus.
Yeah, represent this revenue in the current year anyway, because it's not paid out for the purpose that was intended. So that will get moved to our revenue. That seems like general.
Not paid out for the purpose it was intended. It was never budgeted for a purpose, so how
It
could
was a
it?
hail claim, so
I'm sorry.
the hail claim, so we're talking about hail insurance.
It's a
so we
revenue,
received it.
it's a revenue line.
Right, we received it for hail damage, we will not pay it out for that, so we cannot keep that in this year's budget anyway, it has to be put back. And then it will be in the program, and then we'll bring it back in the revenue.
I think we're saying the same thing, I just curious.
It's not moved to a special. Just to program.
I still think we're saying the same thing, I'm just curious, because you keep saying it wasn't paid out for that, that would be, we would have had to have been omniscient and.
No, what I'm saying is we received the money, but we haven't paid the claim. We haven't expensed the claim, so we can't recognize the revenue. Because we don't have an expense to offset it, so we have to defer the revenue until we actually pay the claim.
Yes. Except that it's been reduced by the amount that was paid for
For
the
the
contract.
CARES Yes.
Alright. So in other words, after all that, we leave that alone and we're still back to the original
We don't need a motion.
on that one, we're still back to the original. Okay. Anyone?
I'd like to, I move to, make cupola special fund and transfer the remaining funds to include, but not limited to account 10-500-505, 10-500-515, 10-500-520. Additionally, consider the transfer from account 10-500-556 to be a lesser amount than originally budgeted.
For a second,
I'll say,
Commissioner Beaker, and discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries, item 14. Does anyone, I have not, does anyone have any, contact with, Mr. Coleman, who is our representative on the Party Leadership Board, because the last conversation I remember was an absolute intent not to serve anyone. He had done it right. That not true?
That is no longer true. All of the board members are willing to re-up and serve again.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Even Mr. Coleman?
Yes, sir.
Is that you talked to him, or is this currently Candace's letter that she wrote us?
It's Candace contacted everyone.
Okay. So the. What?
The letter from Candace.
Right.
Showing them.
Right. So the,
So the question, do we want to just put all of our votes to one person as we've done in the past 2 years? Okay.
I think so, because that's the only way we have those say.
So I make a motion to cast 1,373 votes to the candidate, Shelton Coleman for the Blanket County Appraisal District Board.
Is there a second?
Awesome.
We're only nominating. Voting will come at another meeting, but this is just to nominate who we're asking.
So let's back up a step.
So make
I
my motion
didn't
to,
hear Commissioner Weir second, and so
my motion will be to nominate Shelton Coleman as the Blanket County representative for the Blanket County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
I'll say.
Mr. Lewis, seconds, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 15.
I move to reappoint Judge Ray as Blanco County Representative on 2026 general assembly.
There a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Leeson, any discussion? Uh, I think I'll make the discussion on the next time. So all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 16.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Judge Bray as Blanco County Representative for the 2026 Executive Committee in Capital.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Eager. Discussion. Just one comment, and that is, telling them my age, is that I chaired the executive committee of Cat this year, and their annual general assembly was last week, and oddly, they had it at St. Edward's University. I do not know why. As opposed to a hotel like they always have it at. And, I had to make sure to tell the audience that I didn't have anything to do with the selection of the venue, because I graduated from St. Edward's University, and I didn't want to be tagged for that one. But I would just say, if really you can go back to your schools after a number of years, be prepared, because the trees grow up and you can't even recognize the buildings anymore. So that said, and I appreciate the motion and we call for, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. 17, we have Commissioner Fowler, McElhaney, and Rayburn up for, the positions are up in ESD 1 and Hendricks and McCurdy and ESD number 2. And I'm aware that that Commissioner McElhaney does not want to do your plan. And I don't know what to do with this item, but other than here is September the 23rd, and we want to get an early start because it seems like we're always waiting for the ends, and so perhaps this is just the first public statement of send us your applications. The court would like to entertain applications for these 5 board positions. Anyone have anything more you want to suggest or add?
No. Do we want to, do we need to make a motion to, do you want to run it in the paper? Is that what you want to do? Just put it on the website.
We do want to put it on the website. And then each commissioner, I guess, will have their own opportunity to talk to their community.
I'll make a motion to have the ESD 1 and 2 positions in deadline for receiving applications on November 7th. And vote on the positions on December 9th.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Lewis seconds. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. The report building you're looking at is the 2 different options. We're asking you to consider the national one. It's more expensive. I think it was $9,700, but the reason for the more expensive one is because it still fits within that budget, because we have a budgeted item of twice that, and then some for renting space to house records and such. And the reason we like this more expensive building is because we hope to only have to keep the records in there for a year, and then after that, the building will be repurposed. I don't know to who or for what, whether it would be Melinda and her department or one of y'all or whatever, but it has more functionality than the first one.
Where is your proposed location for this? Or can you say?
Yes, I mean, precisely to the foot, no, it would be, it needs to be within walking distance of the district clerk's office, so obviously it needs to be behind it. If you're planning it somewhere. Now, personally, I would like us to see it all in concrete, but, on the parking lot concrete, that takes up spaces and that's a debate, and I don't know that I can hear enough to debate it. As opposed to putting it on grass, but, it's only, the village is still sticking to October the 16th of 2026, so. This time next year we will be,
Is there, I'm pretty sure that I read someone that this is already built.
yes,
Is there any that have the roll-up door on the other side?
I don't know, but that. I don't know, but if you,
The reason I say that is if you was to place it where the comics was at one point in time, if you put the roll-up door on the right hand side of the building, we would face the concrete, where you'd be easier access in and out. You still have to walk more than you have to get the grass, or are you proposing to run it parallel with the parking lot?
I haven't gotten that far. But then if you want to turn the roll-up door where it faces the parking lot.
If you was to run this up against the building long ways, and then have the roll-up door would be right up against the concrete, or be easier access in and out.
Well, you don't be up against the building, but what you're wondering about is the door in the building.
Right, well, the door would be facing the yard, where the roll-up door would be facing the concrete,
Yes.
is what I would envision be the easiest. Now, you could turn it sideways, where the door, this door is facing the parking lot,
Or
but that takes a little bit more of space.
or you could do it where this door is facing the building and that's still facing the parking lot, like you want the roll-up door still facing.
That just create more
Yeah,
access in and out of it. Unless, depending on how far you put it away from it, I guess.
Even the Conex box was sort of big,
But it, yeah, it had doors facing concrete.
and so did the.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you don't need, we need 3 or 4 foot of space to walk in and.
But that door swings to right hand door, so be UV in awkward place. However, it doesn't, if they have one, great, if not, we can do it.
Mister, this one's on hand, the other one would be ordered.
Okay.
It would take, it could take up to 5 or 6 weeks to get it not on.
I didn't know if they had multiple sitting there.
This one happens to be on hand.
There's a second piece to this that we also need permission and, Ms. Doyle, I see her in the back, I don't know if she knows what she is, but, it's possible that this Friday is our last opportunity to go in and extract stuff from the courthouse. And we're not gonna be able to get this done in that time period, because this is October, this is fiscal year 29-26 money anyway. So, even if you authorize it today. So, we're wanting to, on a really short-term basis, like a week or two, take the records out this week while we have the opportunity to put them in a short-term storage unit here in town somewhere. And then we can get this building. I know it's a lot of moving with the contractors. So not only asking you for the building, we're asking you for authorization to do a short-term rental storage unit. And the reason, and the question could come up, why should we keep it in storage unit? And I think we need to make, I believe we need to make the records where they can be accessed easily, like where you can walk to them, not where you drive to them in the storage unit. So.
All right, so I move to purchase the 14x24 storage barn. Portable building from Storage Solutions to house files from various offices while the courthouse is under construction. This authorization will include the approval of additional funds for the shelves to be placed in the unit and also a short-term rental at in Johnson City.
Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Weir, discussion. So, if Commissioner Weir, if we wanted to do it as we were just discussing, we change the doors, change the building, what do you think that would add timelines?
You know, I don't know without a phone call, it would add to the expense too, if this one here was priced. Special because it's in existing. So that, I mean, you need a couple $1,000, I'm guessing, higher. And I don't know what time, if you can find that out. Hopefully.
Well,
It was just a thought.
with the motion on the table, made by Commissioner Barley, seconded by Commissioner Weir, is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 19. And then the Clearwater County Health Services agreement with Southern Health Partners.
I move to authorize county judge to accept and sign the amendment one to the health services agreement between Southern Health Partners and Blanco County.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 20. Is yeah, y'all are here?
So.
This is Sheridan Murray. I'm basically asking the Commissioner Court to acknowledge the fact that I'm going to see if I can't put him on for part-time position when that becomes available on October 1st. Sheridan has got 5 years of experience. He's came from 3 years with Guadalupe County Sheriff's Office, Balcones Heights, Marshal's office in Santa Clara. He's also got several years as a firefighter, EMT certification. He transferred from that arena to the law enforcement area because he wanted to get his arsons investigator's license. And he's just a wealth of experience, and I think he'd be a great asset for the community.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say?
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. I appreciate y'all and thank you for the opportunity to come and work with y'all and serve in this community.
Where do you live?
Right now, I live in the Broncos.
And you said right now.
Yeah. I'm a free spirit. You never know where I'm at.
New Braunfels, the city.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, so you can be 46 and
Yes.
however you get here.
46 to 281.
Okay.
Sure.
I make a motion to acknowledge the placement of Sheridan Murray as a reserve constable for precinct 1's constable's office and convert to a part-time paid position as of October 1st, 2025.
Is there a second? Commissioner Riley, in discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Item 21. Rockin' J. Scrivener's Error, Commissioner Legal.
Yes, it's, we approved this on August 26th for the merge of the two tracks, but on the plat, the street name was wrong and then correct on the street name, so. We'd like to be like make a motion or whatever to correct that error on the plat.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 22, it also have data of land location and my knowledge, there's nothing unusual about it, but for I have filed the proper documents and for reasons of necessity, I'm going to withdraw from this agenda item. We don't have a little gavel, so I'll just hand you that.
Oh, look at it.
Okay, so on line item 22, Mr. Eager,
Yes. I make a motion to approve the affidavit of land location and exemption of Water Springs Company Incorporated.
have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
All opposed? Motion carries. See that? See that?
Item 23 is a donation offer. Commissioner Riley.
So, on Cox Road, Sydney and Connie Cox want to donate some road work. And, it's gonna come up to about 2/10 of a mile total. And one stretch is gonna go from the Cox Cemetery to Rusty Acres Road, and that's where Sydney's daughter and son-in-law live, and then the other one is in front of a piece of property that Sydney and Connie own that goes from the Blanco River west towards 165. I guess more towards 165, sorry. About 1,500 feet there, so. Anyway, my motion is to accept the donation of labor and materials for road work on Cox Road from Sydney to Connie Cox.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion.
Didn't you just pay this? Or
2 years, year and a half ago.
are they doing any lighting or just?
No lighting, they're just. Tops in it.
You said retopping it. Yes.
Chip seal, yes.
So. I don't know how to ask this exactly, are you monitoring it? I mean, I assume when we take it, this is an odd donation, never seen one quite like it. I assume when we do this, that wherever it is, a commissioner is gonna be watching to make sure that whatever is done like you would have it done even if it was a bid job.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 24, replat.
Replat in Forest Street North, one lot is giving up a couple acres, we would make the other lot a little bit bigger, so I'm just losing two and the other one got two, so. I move to approve the replat lots 43 and 44 in the Forest View North subdivision, the new lots will be known as 43A and 44A.
Is there a second?
No second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed, motion carries. Item 25.
Got a subdivision named Prodor Ranch out 165. Couple miles from the end of the county line. They've gone through all steps, everything has been filed, accepted, the water study, TxDOT has given them the approval for a permit onto the property. I was talking with them yesterday and TxDOT is requiring a slow down lane. Coming from the east heading west on 165. So I move to approve the subdivision plat of Prodor Ranch.
Is there a second?
I'll second
Commissioner Weir, discussion.
So there's a discrepancy on, between Mr. Fiesler's comment and the plat. Mr. Fiesler, in your paragraph, it says the subdivision consists of approximately 187 acres. And then on the plat, it says 162 acres.
Well, let me check it out. It says.
Because I know your math is based on land, so that's, I just want to make sure that.
I'm just looking from the report that I reviewed, it says 187.08 acres. So that may have been revised in the survey of the plat.
Or maybe they subtracted the roads. I don't know. Can't answer you that.
What's the acreage?
The original was 187, and then we sold off.
You've already sold off the
Can
three
you come back?
tracks.
Thank
Sorry.
you. And would you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Michael Mays. The original was 187, and we sold off the 3 tracks, about 23 acres, which is where the balance comes from.
Can I ask it differently for a layperson? It's 187 that you, total acres that you developed. Yes. 180
187 that was
plus or minus.
plus or minus.
And then the 162, 172, I'm sorry. The lesser amount, is that what you're selling as lots?
Correct.
And
Correct.
And the difference is
Is just raw land that we've.
like green belts or whatever?
I'm sorry.
Like green belts or whatever?
No, it's land that we've sold off already. Two of the 3 parcels we've sold outside the subdivision. Correct.
Okay.
And you did that during affidavit of the land acceptance?
Yes, sir.
So Ron, that being said, it does contain your mathematical equations.
I think it would, I'd have to get with the consulting firm. How they work on, is out there, and they base their, I think they base the calculations on the 187 acres. If that would be certification, we bring back.
Ron, don't you take a area around the subdivision anyway and take it into consideration?
They base their calculations, on, let me go back to that again. Maybe the lots are correct and they looked, 27 single family residents. Is that still correct?
That's the 167.
So the calculations were based on 27 single family residential lots. And so that's what all of the water availability studies were based on. 187 acres would just show up on the map itself. And also perhaps where the 10-year effect and the 30-year effect would still be included in those areas.
What does that mean?
One of the calculations they do, they use the results of the 2 water availability studies, the aquifer tests that was done. And they take the mathematical information that like the transmissivity, how fast does the water move through the aquifer, the storativity, what the calculated storage capability is of the aquifer, things like that. And they'll take the pumping rate and the drawdown curves and the recovery curves, and then they can calculate the area of influence, what we often call the cone of depression. It's where the pumping wells create a cone of depression, and they run their calculations based on all 27 wells pumping from the center of the subdivision, rather than trying to do very complex calculation. And so they show the results of that, and they page numbered up. This is what they do. I'm not stable here.
So Ron, in your professional opinion, the acreage going from 187 that was in your report to what's proposed as 162, with the same amount of homes, we would still be in compliance with our rules and regulations.
That's right, because it looks kind of like a bullseye until this graph here. They're showing this is a 30-year drawdown. This is showing 1 foot contours in 30 years. The contour within primarily the subdivision would be less than 4 feet after 30 years. Total impact on drawdown. And that would include the 187 or the 160, whatever it was.
162.
That's based on 27 residential lots. It does not include any other existing wells within that radius.
Do you feel a need for them to go back and revise the water availability study to show 162 acres?
There would be some small differences maybe in the calculation, but it's still based on 27 wells and 27 residential lots with individual wells on each one. And based on the aquifer test from those two tests, those two aquifer tests.
So I guess my question to the court would be, would it be better, cleaner, that if at the end of the day, when the stuff is filed in the clerk's office, if the water availability report and the plat matched acre for acre?
Is there anybody here from the Conway's office?
No, sir, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
I just don't want, I don't want to, in the future, somebody pulling a plat or whatever, and they're looking at two different things, looking at the same plat. And this one shows 162, this one shows 187. Where's my difference? We've talked about it in court, that's great, but.
Yeah, we've had roads subtracted out and things like that, so I'm trying to think back on some of those. The lot size is just about 7 acres, average lot size is about 7 acres per lot, so they're fairly large lots. I don't think there's gonna be a big difference, but if the commissioner's court is really concerned about it, we can call Conway and find out. If that would make a big impact. What was it, 161 acres?
162.
162.
The question in my mind is, do I want the documents to match? Do I want the water availability acreage match the plat acreage?
To do that, we're gonna have to change the report that,
It's not my problem.
wet rock groundwater should do, so. I'm ready to call Conway and check it out, but I don't know if I can get an answer in the next 5 minutes. You know. While we feel this way. We'll have to wait 2 weeks.
No,
Where is the water availability study on these 4 pages?
it's not on there.
Well, then,
But that-
then the public, the buying public or the people that are in the subdivision aren't gonna glean the 187 acres by going to Laura's office and looking at this, right?
Well, would the water availability report be affiliated and filed as well?
I don't know.
Should be.
Let me ask you a question here, these guys here.
It's not filed, no, if I'm, where, it's gotta be filed somewhere. Why are we doing it if it's not filed?
I keep it in my file.
That 7 acres is part of that license.
So it could be subject to open records requests.
That little triangle.
The groundwater district has it, right? You have it in your office, right?
So.
I've not heard of this project before today, but I'm just an engineer, so maybe somebody else knows about it. I'm gonna go back and talk about it when we get back.
I did send it to, I sent all of them to the groundwater district.
I just think it'd be clean.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for.
Let me show you what I just checked on this if I could. The difference in acres, that's in the triangular shape. So that's the little difference.
I understand. And I don't think that it's gonna change the outcome.
I don't either.
I'm just thinking that
Is that-
cleanly.
Is that part of the study?
Yes.
So if a person is that part of the study that's filed with her?
It is, this is the study, yes.
So if the person that's coming to look at this, that look at the 187 acres, they're gonna see
They're
that.
gonna see this. And if they're looking at the 162,
See this.
they're gonna be in that circle there, yeah, right.
Is that clear? To,
As mud.
Mud, low water, or, it's part of the state, but I agree it would be cleaner. It will be fixed between now and 2 weeks from now. for the-
So let's ask like this, could we approve this plat with the understanding that you're gonna have your groundwater people revise that and match the amount of acres that's on there?
Yeah.
we can do that. Yeah, yeah.
So y'all call Cave.
Yeah, I can get on.
And if they have questions for me, they know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
Commissioner,
I'll revise, so yeah, I saw it, please. So, I will revise to say, to state that it'll be cleaned up from the 100 and
can we maybe approach it this way? It's still your original motion, which is to approve, but it's conditioned upon a revised water availability study reflecting the same acreage as we're approving. Is there a second? Commissioner Weir, are you still a second?
Yes.
Commissioner Weir still seconds. Discussion. Do you all understand the condition?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How does that work going forward? Is for in terms of Blanco County processing the application?
You will not sign the plat until I receive an updated water study with the correct acreage.
And signing the plat then does what?
Then once they bring the corrected water study, then I will have you sign the plat and then they can go over and file it with the clerk office.
Which means they can start selling.
Correct.
Yeah. Anything else? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Item 26.
Give us your input.
So it's my recommendation, along with the 3 county fire chiefs that have been being placed into effect. In the last week, there was several grass fires, including a 10-acre one on Saturday. So conditions are drying out. The drought index that you have in front of you is not accurate because it went up at 10 a.m. So it's now 511 for the county average. So it went up 9 points. So even with a little rain, maybe tomorrow, it's still going to dry out and continue to grow. So we would all like to see a burn ban.
So you're running from the burn.
Yes, that's correct.
Motion.
I guess so.
Let's see, I didn't know the other, how far it comes out.
You're gonna do the first meeting in October, which is the 14th.
28th of October.
Should one or.
Either or.
Mr. McMahon, your suggestion is 14th.
The 14th.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to put the burn ban on to run until the 14th of October.
Well, then,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Eager. Discussion? So there's a lot of, not a lot, there's some blue down there that's Kerr County and around Kerr County, which I guess is still the flood and everything's still soaked.
They still seem to get a lot of rain recently.
And then Gillespie, Mason, and maybe Junction somewhere up there, Menard, whatever it is. I'm just wondering, it seems to go around us. And is that what's kind of like what the flood did? It went around us?
Yeah.
To the south and to the north?
We typically, with some of the hills we have, the rain patterns break and go around. And so the storms scatter around, so we don't get as much of the soaking rain. I know the last fire on Saturday was on the Gillespie County, Blanco County line near Willow City. And there was about 10 acres. So I know it's drying out even west of here.
Wind and picking up here, right?
And even with the rain comes wind tomorrow, which means it's going to dry out and push fire.
Is there anything further? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 27.
Make a motion to adjourn.
There a second? Commissioner Weir, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, we adjourn.